Come on, buddy, put down. Here's the Rangers. Say hi to the camera, boys.
Morning.
Ulaco.
Morning.
These are the happiest group of men out here, I think. Everybody else is freezing. Life is good.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to another edition of NTS Adventures. Certainly no adventure going on today. My regimental brother Mark and I, we were planning on going back out today and try our hand at some Lakers again, but the winds were a bit high, so we decided not to. Not that we aren't capable, just sometimes when the winds being that high can make things a little bit challenging, particularly when it comes to setting up and tearing down. But anyway, I did have some time on my hands and was starting to go through some of my old footage, and I came up with this footage, which I digitalized as best as I can. I mean, I'm not a real capable guy when it comes to this, and so I do apologize, it's a bit grainy, but it's a segment, snapshot, if you will, of my time up north as a ranger instructor. And this segment is from, I think, January of '99 to spring of '99. And for those of you that don't know, the Canadian Rangers are a group of Indigenous people, and well, even nowadays, European Canadians who have volunteered to help exercise or protect the sovereignty of the nation of Canada. The Ranger program developed back in the 40s when there was a threat of Japanese incursion into the west coast of Canada, particularly BC. So the Canadian government made an agreement with Indigenous peoples and said, hey, while you're out gathering and hunting on the land, would you mind keeping an eye out for certain things, i.e. ships, subs, and Japanese soldiers, if you will. In exchange, they gave them, I think back in those days, it was 200 rounds of ammunition and a rifle, and they did that. And there were some reports where they did report on enemy activity and was dealt with before it became anything substantial. And of course, as the Cold War came about in the 50s and 60s, we decided to, the nation of Canada decided to expand the Ranger program all the way up into the north. Right from the Yukon, right across the Keewatin area, all through Hudson's Bay and all the way up to Baffin Island. We actually even now have patrols Labrador, Northern Ontario, Northern BC, Northern Manitoba, Ranger patrols everywhere. So we have a lot of eyes out there watching and being able to report. And it's a very, very effective tool that the commander of any operation has in his toolbox. It truly is. So operations up there have changed obviously over the years. I happen to know this firsthand, but essentially the mission is still the same. So my job up there was to go up and work with Canadian Rangers and to provide with them military skills, i.e. marksmanship principles, navigation, particularly with GPS and stuff. I mean, trust me, they can navigate way better than any piece of equipment, but we did have to get them online with how the regular Army works. And we would teach them that. We would bone them up on their first aid. Every Ranger instructor was a first aid CPR instructor. Every Ranger instructor was a firearms instructor. Every Ranger instructor was capable of teaching all sorts of military topics, particularly when it came to patrolling, exercising sovereignty. In exchange, they taught us how to survive in that environment. Whew, what a combination. Canada has a small army, but if you look at our warfighting history, whew, we are good at it. We are really good at it. We're nice people. We truly are. Don't poke us. We're small, but we're effective. Anyway, I digress. I hope you guys enjoy this. Again, there's no particular order. The first part of it, I think, is as a Ranger instructor, we were teaching survival to our air crew and headquarters staff because obviously our air crew spent hours and hours and hours flying through this enormous and extremely inhospitable land, one of the harshest environments on the planet, quite truthfully. So we had to make sure they were boned up in their ability to survive on that in the event of one of their airplanes going down, which thankfully hasn't happened a whole lot. They're very skilled pilots. And then it goes on into a sovereignty operation, which I was the liaison officer for up in Kugluktu, which prior to April 1999 was called Coppermine. In April 1999, the government of Canada gave their land back to the Inuit people, and they reverted back to a lot of their traditional names. So anyway, nothing really too serious here. I couldn't obviously film anything real hardcore and any real serious warfighting stuff in the interest of compromising missions and or tactics, but these are kind of some, I'll call them light missions that I conducted, and I don't know, I thought maybe some of you might be interested, some of you not, I get that, but anyway, without further ado, here it is. I hope you guys enjoy it. Hang in there.
Not yet, eh? Okay, I'll be back. So this is our camp. Let me back up a bit here. There's a tent from the outside. We've been quite comfortable. We've been there 3 nights now. There's 2 of our 3 snow machines. This is the one they gave me this week, which is the Enticer, I think. There's one of our Standicks. Enticer too. So it's a little bit chillier today. Actually, I shouldn't say that. It's not as chilly, it's a little windier. I'm sitting here filming with no gloves, and I'm just starting now, my hands are just starting now to get cold. But it's not too bad actually. Yesterday morning we woke up, it was minus 39. And luckily Charlie got up to start the wood stove. And this morning I did. So I'm going to save some battery power here for the range and caribou hunt. So we'll sign off with this serene view of the McPherson. So anyway, this is how the rest of the army lives. And in the regular world, it's a 10-man tent. Fit 10 soldiers in there. Not real comfortable, but you probably fit 8 in there real comfortable. We have fit 10, we have fit 12, and this is the drill. I'm walking on a snowmobile track, so I keep falling. But anyway, they lay their equipment out either side, nice and neat. The toboggan is there, and that's the way business is done. We keep a Coleman stove going in there, and a Coleman lantern. 1 man up at all times. You do 1-hour shifts during the night, and it keeps the chill off. But I mean, like yesterday was minus 35, so it didn't help too much. But we have been surviving in them for years, and it has been working for us. But like I said, I do prefer the McPherson, but of course, tactically speaking, that's not the way to do business. You can imagine fighting a war on McPhersons with their wood stoves going in this and that. But anyway, that's the way business is done in the regular army, and I showed you the McPherson already. So now we're going to scoot down, and they're conducting a range. So hopefully we'll see some bullets fired. So what we're actually doing here is running a range, believe it or not. But well, being the man he is, decides that concurrently things must happen. So hard to believe, but
I gotta feed myself, don't I? You can shoot all you want.
I argued with him saying that there was an issue. I argued with him saying it was an issue of professionalism, but he didn't believe me.
Professionalism. At the highest level, for Christ's sakes. It's a spring day out here.
Yeah, she's spring all right. That's why I gotta cover my fucking thumb while I'm filming. And fucking people on course here with us, and they're getting ready to shoot. And the targets are being set up down there. And as you can see, right behind the firing point, there's the firing point flag. and 20 feet behind that is fishing. So life's rough in the north. Losing juice quickly in this cold, eh?
Oh yeah, no doubt, eh?
Here, I'll take this gun then. Right there at the point on that hill. Not that many people out here.
What we're calling a logical sequence of events in the event that we're lost, okay? And with the discussions we had, the one thing that we both agreed upon is the individual, when lost, should have clear obtainable objectives every day, okay? So that in the event that you're out there and things are going down, you keep your spirits high by looking forward to something to do the next day. And of course, as we all know, the biggest issue when on the land and lost is going to be your sense of psychological well-being. So we've come up with a little thing here, giving ourselves realistic time frames, i.e. When we timed ourselves when we did it so that we could tell the students how long it took. And we also made the point of using only two tools, the shovel and the axe. And with the lean-to here, I had Charlie and Joseph start at 10 o'clock and 10:25 they are done. So the theory being that if a person gets into a situation where they're lost, and we hope it never happens, but if an aircraft goes down the tree line, the individuals can get themselves out of the wind and in a shelter immediately, so that they give themselves, again, and I'm going to use the term a lot, a good sense of psychological well-being. I'm in an environment, and from here we can plan our next move. Now, we're also trying to teach them that this could be a way to get a realistic time frame, and what we were trying to emphasize here was that if you're in the environment of dealing with -10 or below, that your worst enemy when you don't have a warm place to go to at night is sweat. So I piled that snow in 1 hour, and that was with a break where I went up to my tent and stoked it, and I would literally shovel 5 scoops of snow and then stop, and I would force myself to stop so that in order not to sweat. Now everybody's physical condition varies, and those who are more physically fit could probably get away with shoveling a little more before sweating, but the point I was trying to emphasize was overemphasize your slowing down, like slow it right down, because if you sweat and you don't have a warm place to go to at night, then you're really going to be hurting come nightfall. The disadvantage with this one is it takes, once the snow was thrown, it takes 24 hours to set in a minimum of 24 hours, and that's only if you have 10 degrees or below, and if you're hovering around the 0 mark, either way, anywhere from 48 to 72 hours. But the bonus with this is it gives you a really good sense of well-being, because we as humans kind of feel in more secure, especially if we're lost in a secure surrounded area, okay, with the exception of those handful of people who are maybe claustrophobic. But again, the idea being that in this environment here, you're not sitting in your lean-to replaying the scene from Farley Mowat, waiting for the fucking dogs to come and holding your piece of firewood ready to throw at the wolves. You're in here and you're happy, and of course this is considerably warmer than the lean-to, And again, it also gives you something to do. And the thing I'm trying to stress to the individuals, to the soldiers and officers that came out, was having yourself obtainable objectives every day. I would appreciate if you would all use your imagination for a second. We did this one in the smaller version to demonstrate that an individual could have to use this one for their initial starter shelter over the lean-to. Okay, but it gives us the same principles of shelter from wind and a good, again, sense of well-being with the fire in front. But if you can use your imagination, if we were to build this, say 15 feet higher and 20 feet wider, and you put your boughs only 2/3 of the way up, then you could have a fire in the middle, and then you're going basically from what I call Baltic to St. James to fucking Boardwalk, because now you're into a hacienda from hell here. And this is kind of like, if you built a teepee like that, in the way we're thinking, that if you did a 20-footer with a fire in the center, I mean, the only thing that is stopping you is your imagination. I mean, really, you could go with a kitchen, and like Charlie and Joseph were telling me, what a lot of the elders do is they bake rocks all day long by the fire, and then they'll throw rocks on the bottom in the snow, and then they'll throw pine boughs over those rocks, and then they have a warm bed till about 4 in the morning, and then you're fucked. And we're back. My battery's changed. I would like to get a caribou hunt on film today, but fortunately I'm on my last battery here, and doesn't look like it's gonna work. No fish, Charlie?
No fish, no.
What is that? Well, there's supper.
Oh, yes. Oh, there's another one.
Couple nice ones there, eh? Hey, we should take a picture of each other taking pictures.
Yeah.
There you go. Two fish?
Yes.
It's not bad. So anyway, the procedure here is really quite neat. I don't know if you can see through the camera or not, but you can just barely make out the holes here, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way down, all the holes. And what they do is we cut all these holes through the ice, and then we take a pole with a string attached to it, a long string, and we shove it, the pole of course being the length of the distance between these two holes, and they move the string just like threading a pair of sweatpants almost. They move the string with the pole to this hole, and then they push the pole along to this hole, push the pole along to this hole, to that hole, etc. Now once the string is on that end, the string is there for one end of the string is there, and one end of the string is down at the other end. Then on that end, they tie the net, and of course, one of the rangers on that side pulls the net through all the way underneath the ice. And then it's set. They have rocks on the bottom of the net and floats on the top. So it sits right on the bottom, and it's about 4 feet high off the bottom. I was thinking we were going to catch some pickerel, but we didn't. So that's under the net ice. We'll see you, well, we got about 15 minutes of battery left. We'll see you whenever. I would like to have filmed some caribou getting shot, but
Guess it won't happen.
guess it won't happen. I think we're going to shoot caribou, but
For sure.
I don't think I'm going to get a film. So, we'll see you later.
Yes. See you next time. Year 2000.
So, the Master of Photography is back. 18th of February, 1999. I am approximately 2 hours in Kagluktu, which was formerly Coppermine. I'm the liaison officer for 119 Air Defense Battery out of Moncton, New Brunswick. I'll be basically ensuring that the Rangers that I'm working with on this operation are used properly by the unit from down south, because they only do come up once every 5 years or so. And basically my job being a Ranger instructor is to ensure that, again, they're not abused, that they're used to their maximum potential and ability. Like, example, their ability to maneuver and navigate in the land, that the unit exploits those traits as much as possible. Anyway, this is the room in the Coppermine Inn. It's, I wouldn't say a typical room up here in the northern communities of a hotel, but it's one of the better ones I've been in, quite honestly. It's not the best one, but it's nice. It's an A room. A lot of the rooms here, people have visions of, you know, just basically holes in the ground. There's where I set up my laptop, but they're not. It's a very neat and tidy hotel, very well kept. I'm just going to step out to the window here, and there's a view of the Arctic Ocean right there, right across the street. This is just kind of a coincidence. There's CMP shop, which is convenient for me, so I can drop my money off with me there, because I do carry a lot of cash. And just panning across here again, we'll see lots of this in a little while. Lots of the town. We're going to go take a walk. Beautiful day, only minus 15. And that's pretty good considering we're so close to the Arctic Circle here. But again, there's the Arctic Ocean right there. That's her. And you can start going further north than that and you hit the ice cap. As a matter of fact, this is all frozen right now. A man could theoretically step off on a snow machine here and go to the North Pole. So let's take a walk downstairs through the hotel. And actually, I'll wait till we get to the lobby and we'll do some more shooting. The lobby here at the Coppermine Inn. As you can see, it's neat and tidy, completely squared away. Nobody in here at the moment. So that's good, so I can talk. The only thing is, like most places up north here, you have to take your boots off and before you enter the hotel. Oh, it's very bright out here. This is unbelievable. The filming before this on this tape is in Yellowknife in January. I couldn't take my gloves off to film, but now here it is. Make sure lens flap is off. Here it is, February in Kagluktu on the Arctic Circle, and it's minus 15. It's just gorgeous. Anyway, there's the local school. We've got 2 schools up here. It's a pretty major center actually for a lot of little communities. Snow machine just buzzing around there. But anyway, there's some more shots of it. This is, you don't get much more further north than this actually until you get into the Baffin. There's a church. But like I said, there's maybe 10, 12 communities further north than Kagluktu here. There's a sewer truck. As you can imagine, every day sewer is emptied out of every single community, or every single house. And there's the northern store right up there, which is where we're going to go by later. And it's the northern community, or northern and co-op are the 2 stores that are common in most of the communities up here. Most communities have both. If they don't, they either have one or the other. So we're just going to take a walk up top. So I'm just on a little bit of higher ground here, and I tell you, this is a beautiful day up north here. You know, days like this, I just love my job. The only thing that sucks about it is being away from my wife and kids. But anyway, this is good to go. Minus 15, warm as can be. Kagluktu, like I said, is about 1,200 people. So just so I can explain this clearly, once a child gets to grade 6, grade 7 and above from all the surrounding communities, there's a few major centers across the north, Coquitlam being one, like Holman, Cambay, places like that. The kids will come to go to school here, either staying at a relative's house, or they'll be staying at a, my shadow scared me there, I thought somebody was standing behind me for it, staying at the boarding house to go to further education. But a lot of the kids, that's just the library I was focusing on, a lot of the kids do actually end up quitting school and going onto the land. It's 2:30 in the afternoon, the sun is starting to get high in February. That's probably going to go down around 4, 5, maybe even 6. And of course culminating to the time at which there's 24 hours of daylight, in which we are in that part of the world up here in Coquitlam. 24 hours of daylight through most of the month of June. And of course down there is the co-op store, where I'm going to go buy a couple things, because even though I do get subsidized, they do pay me for meals. It's nice to have little snacks and juice and stuff. We'll go down and get some more footage elsewhere. Okay, today's the 19th of February. I'm actually standing on the Arctic Ocean, and it's kind of weird because I'm standing here and I can feel the ocean moving underneath me. It's not like just standing on normal freshwater ice where you just feel like you're standing on land. I'm standing on the ocean here. There's about 4 feet of ice on me, but there's so much water and the tide is so powerful that I actually feel a little bit of a rocking sensation. And it's kind of hard to get used to. It's almost kind of scary. Once you realize that it's just probably about 3 trillion tons of water pushing up against the shore, you don't have to worry about it. But anyway, like I said, I'm out here on the ocean on the sea ice, and I'm looking at the town of Coquitlam from outside here. And this, like I said, right now it's about 3:45. The sun is just going down, and here's the ocean. And right now, like I said, theoretically you can move right from here, right across the Arctic Ocean onto what they call Queen Elizabeth Island, and pretty much straight up into the other islands north of Canada. Like I said, this is the ocean that separates mainland Canada from all the islands in Canada. So I'm up on a rock that's overlooking the community. We'll get to that in a minute. Here's a good example of Canadian tundra here. A lot of people associate the Arctic with a lot of snow. The actual annual snowfall up here is significantly smaller than most places in Canada. And even any snow that does fall is usually windswept. As you can see, here it is in the middle of February, and it's a completely exposed rock, and that rock will remain exposed throughout the year. Now I'm just going to pan from left to right. There's being the Arctic Ocean, of course, and panning right across to the town itself. Okay, that building there is the new Nunavut, one of the branches of the legislative building. It's kind of hard to explain. The government is a complicated one, to say the least. But anyway, when Nunavut separates, they will have an element of command, so to speak, or an element of government here in Coquitlam. Okay, now panning off to the right again, more of the town. As you can see, it's a fair-sized town, and down below, the kids, I'm assuming from school, doing whatever. I think they're sliding on plastic. Of course, youth programs are very important here in the north, because the traditional skills seem to be getting lost as time goes on, and as they simulate to Euro-Canadian, as they call it, Euro-Canadian type cultures. They're losing these skills, and a lot of them are getting bored and staying in town and getting in trouble. So it's becoming overemphasized to do things with the youth. But anyway, again, here's the town. I wouldn't say every single town north of 60 looks like this, but I would say a good percentage, probably 60-75% of communities up north look identical to this. And what I mean by identical, if we were to take two pictures of two communities, unless you spend some significant amount of time there, you wouldn't notice the difference between the two. So, we'll leave you now. I gotta go type some stuff up and get ready for supper. So we'll talk to you probably on Sunday now when the unit gets in. See you there. We're going to talk about two things. We're not going to spend too much time on it. We're going to talk about what is the formation or the position that the unit is going to take once they've gotten into the campsite, okay? Now, this is kind of a hard thing to explain. What the battery commander in this case wants to do is he wants to move out to the position tactically, okay? There's two words here that you're gonna become very familiar with over the next 8 days. Tactical and administrative. Tactical means they're practicing fighting against an enemy, okay? And then he's gonna say, okay, we're administrative. Which administrative means there's no threat, it's normal. It's just survival training, range work, whatever. But when you're tactical, it's an attitude again that you're pretending you're in war. Okay, and they'll switch on and off all the time, okay? So just so you understand that, what we're gonna do is he wants to do a tactical move out to the site, okay? So in other words, we're gonna practice the scouting techniques that we've just talked about and the clearing of the objective. Now what's gonna happen tactically when a unit of this...
Sometime.
Oh, okay.
Straight line, guys. Straight line. We got to organize here. They're not going to let us shoot. Back as a... Nice working gun.
Raise 150. Target to your front. Rapid race. Go on.
Okay, this one here, put it up on your shoulder, you pull it right straight back. This hand goes... Which hand do you shoot with? This hand goes here. Right straight back, target again. Lock it again. So there.
Move closer if you want. The idea of the guy firing.
I'm okay here, sir, I think. Thanks anyway.
All ready to go.
We each had 150 rounds of 5.56, 5 mags each, and now they're getting quarter belts of the C.
Oh yeah? That's excellent.
Yeah.
Wow,
So they're quite happy.
I guess so. They're spoiling them, sir.
Oh, we had lots of bullets.
This is what we have up there. That's only a percentage. This is just a percentage of the ammo. It's more ammo.
Ulaku.
That dude's very active too. Sit there. 20 minutes first.
I can't fucking wait. I gotta go.
Morning, sir. Morning, how are you? We're going to start with this platoon. We're going to put it on the range and start firing, and we'll check fire if we have to.
Okay, sir.
If we get word of a airplane coming in.
I'm gonna move in that tent there very shortly anyway, and hopefully they'll be able to tell me exactly when they're coming in. So
Right. You can
even if you're in training,
call them out and let us know.
around, sir. Well, it's good the RCMP showed up.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good PR.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
They've done a lot for us since we've been here. So.
Oh yeah, big time. What we're done here, this is a runway that we've built on the ice. The Rangers are trained to do this. I teach them how to do it and they do it. And realistically though, these guys have been doing runways a lot longer than I have. I still teach them the theory, but practically they're incredible. We taught this to the unit that's out here, and now we're actually setting up because the commander of Canadian Force Northern Area is coming in, and my CO, Major Bob Knight. So right now all the Rangers are doing is we had a little bit of a light snowfall here and a little bit of a wind, so they're just going along the runway and they're packing it to ensure that there's no drifts that may hinder the landing of the aircraft. All we've basically used here for the leading edges are panel markers, and what we've used for either side is garbage bags and just portable landing lights. You can use snow machines, jerry cans, whatever, just as long as you define the delineation of the runway. And we also, it's very important you put a flag up. We got the Ranger flag up because so that the pilot determines wind direction. Of course, that will determine which way he's going to approach the runway. So here's the boys, they're all lining up here, I think, if I can find them. And they're going to do a scoot down and make sure she's good and packed. These are good Rangers on this patrol. I think they had fun shooting the automatic weapons. Anyway, here's camp. This is how soldiers live in this type of environment. 10-man Arctic tent, which is right there. Actually, that's a 5-man. Where's a 10-man? Right there. Okay, the green one. And they typically can fit 8 to 10 soldiers in there. And what they do to make life more comfortable is they put these snow walls around their tents. Cuts down on the wind, and it actually does make a huge difference, believe it or not. If you look, you'll see right there, and that's Roger, Ranger Sergeant Roger Hitbluck's tent, and you can see he's got snow wall right around it, and it's nice and warm. And I think the Rangers are coming back in from their task. No, they're still doing a pack. Beautiful runway. Look at that puppy.
You think you liked it?
Yeehaw! I know he loved it.
time I saw you excited.
Job well done there on the ranger's part. Fuck, you never even use half of it.
Can I go?
Throwing there, Sarge?
Yes, sir, it is.
I gotta go. I'm going tonight actually to get one. Quite a coincidence.
They're awesome.
Is that one stabilized?
No, sir.
You know what I mean, though.
Yeah, yeah. I filmed the approach, eh? Looked pretty good, yeah.
Oh my God! Take that off this. Take that off that tape.
Send that into
Remember who to put in the left seat for that one.
you can get them electronically stabilized.
How much is you gonna use, boys?
Half of it.
So your guess, Clarence, half? Not even.
400 feet.
Yeah, tops, eh? And that's the end of Commander's visit.